everybody doing today? A crazy day. I decided to come on here and give a little special episode, I guess you can say. My last one, I know I mentioned that I wanted to get on here a little more often, maybe stream episodes twice a week instead of once a week. So this is my attempt at doing that. Now, as the title shows, hopefully y'all can see that I am going to dive into some way too early WrestleMania 42 card predictions. Um, this is how I personally would basically book that particular show. Um, Nothing too crazy. Every night is gonna have like 6 or 7 matches, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I worked kind of hard on this. I did work pretty hard on this. It took me a minute to really, think about how I would want this to go. So, with that being said, like I said, this is a special episode. We're gonna jump right into this. And the first thing I want to mention is that in my particular show, well, my fantasy booking, every single main roster champion will be defending at my show. Because I don't understand what the fucking purpose of WWE not having certain champions defend at WrestleMania, but want them to defend like the night before the show or the fucking show after or the SmackDown or Raw after the show, which makes no sense to me. If this, especially with like they did that shit good last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think they had that some kind of the Raw one of the tag teams didn't defend on Raw, but then had a major match at the next fucking show at the SmackDown. I think it was the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. But in any case, let's dive right into this. Now, we're going to start with night one. And my first match is going to be Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio. Now, I know we've had this match before at WrestleMania nonetheless. But I think this would be a good way to kind of send off Rey Mysterio because obviously he's already been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Obviously, he doesn't wrestle as much, and he's leaning more in towards his retirement. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he said he wanted to have a match against his son as his last match or something like that. I could be wrong again, but I think I heard him say that. But in any case, this match could go either way. You could have Dominic win. I think Dominic should go over. I don't think because if I feel like if Ray goes over, all he's gonna do is just relinquish the belt because he's retired. You know what I'm saying? This is his retirement match, or this could be a championship versus career match. Like there was a couple of matches in the past that have done that before. I know Taker and Sean did the career versus streak at WrestleMania 26, so this can be another, like I said, championship versus career match. Um, If Dominic goes over, you could have him continue his reign, or if Rey Mysterio goes over, you could just have him defend it, and then when he does eventually lose it at whatever next major paper PLE, in this case, it would be SummerSlam. Have him retire, as he loses that championship, then he retires. So that can kind of go either way. But me personally, I would have Dominic go over. Next, I have on my list is, and this is again, this is fantasy booking, so some of this shit may not make some of this might not make complete sense, but just bear with me. My next on my card is Naomi versus Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair in a triple threat Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Women's Championship. Now, it's no secret that we have yet to really have a blow off on this feud. Naomi announced her pregnancy recently. Um, Realistically speaking, she's probably not going to be cleared for WrestleMania. We don't know. I mean, she could be, she might not be. Either way, but hypothetically speaking, let's just say she is clear for WrestleMania. Jade Cargill captures the championship from Tiffany Stratton at the Royal Rumble. Bianca comes back and wins the Royal Rumble. Naomi invokes her rematch clause because she technically never lost her world championship. Now I know she had the other world championship. She had the women's world championship, not the WWE women's championship. But this is WWE. Shit like that happens. It's all about how you play your cards. And I can see them doing something like this. Obviously, I think Jade will probably retain. It would be a crazy ass match because then again, it could either go one or two ways. It can go Jade or you can have this could really go either way. Jade, Naomi, or Bianca could win. Honestly, Jade has had that win against Naomi at WrestleMania already, so I don't think she needs another win over Naomi. If Jade were to win, I would say she would have to pin Bianca. Now, Bianca, on the other hand, she has a case too because she's caught in the middle of all of this BS between her friends. And again, like I said, it hasn't been happening recently because Naomi's out on pregnancy and Bianca's out on injury. So there really is nothing for Jade to do, which is why she's been kind of just stuck in that one spot with Tiffany and Naya in that particular women's championship. But like I said, Jade wins the Royal Rumble. No, I'm sorry. Jade beats Tiffany at the Royal Rumble. Bianca wins the Rumble match for the right to challenge. Naomi comes back at, let's say, like Elimination Chamber or something like that, and invokes her rematch clause, saying that I never lost the championship, and I don't give a shit if it was the other one. I still never lost, so technically, I should still be a champion to this day. Some heel type shit from her. I think to finish that inside a Hell in a Cell match, that would be a great way to end that off. So let's move on to the next one. The next one on my list is Charlotte and Alexa Bliss versus Zarya and Sol Ruka for the uh, women's tag team match. It'll be a fun match. I mean, obviously, it'll showcase the NXT talent. Um, I could see that being their call up to the main roster, possibly, especially if they go over in this match, which I think if this match were booked, I would have them personally go over. Charlotte and Alexa are a good tag team. They're well established superstars, without a doubt. But this is, make room for the newcomers. You know what I'm saying? This could be a great way to showcase them. And Soul has been very fucking popular lately. So, why not? Next on my list is Julia versus Chelsea Green versus Mia Yim, a U.S. women's triple threat street fight. Fun filler match, filled with spots. Michin, obviously, she does has no problem with going extreme. We've seen Chelsea Green has taken some crazy bumps over the years. Um, it kind of writes itself. I mean, honestly, like I said, this would just be a filler match. I mean, it's gonna be a fun match, obviously, because of the stipulation, but this would just be more for filler and not really more so tied to a rivalry. It could be tied to a rivalry, but probably not. And I would have Chelsea Green going over because she held it down as women's US champ. I must admit that even though WWE doesn't really know how to book this championship, she kind of held it down when she was an inaugural US women's championship. Oh, the inaugural US women's champion. That's a fucking tongue twister. Inaugural, and in whatever. That's a hell of a tongue twister. In any case, moving on. This is one of my most wanted matches. This one is Kairi Sane versus Asuka versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. Now, obviously, right now, WWE are leaning into an Asuka and Io feud, with Kyrie kind of being the third wheel that doesn't is being kind of forced to do the shit for Asuka. So eventually, I think Kyrie's gonna turn on Asuka and set that up, which is gonna lead to that triple threat. At some point, Io's gonna probably retain the Women's World Championship. Right now, Stephanie Vakir has it. She's had it since what the fuck? When the hell did she win that? I think it was whatever. She won it not too long ago. She's gonna have a nice reign with it, obviously. I personally think that again, another Royal Rumble title change. I think that's when Io should take it back from Stephanie Vakir. And I also feel like you could kind of have it to where, well, we already have Bianca winning the Rumble, so that's kind of out the question. You could kind of have it at maybe an elimination chamber to set it up, or you can just dive head first into the feud. Just have Asuka is already against Io. Have Kyrie turn on Asuka, and then just set it up for have the triple threat between these three Japanese warriors. And I think this would be probably be the match of the event, to be honest with you. Because Io's been killing shit lately. And so has Asuka and Kyrie. They have been all killing shit lately. I would have Kyrie go over though. Because Io's been champion, Asuka's been champion. Kyrie is the only one that has not been a world champion yet. And she deserves it. She really does. Like for all the hate that she gets, she's not a bad wrestler. Everybody was coming down on her because of that spot that she did, the reverse Alabama slam, or the Alabama slam on the EO under the ring apron, trying to tell her that, oh, she hurt EO and this and that, and she's the fucking Japanese Nia Jackson, just all kind of stupid shit. And I'm like, bro, did y'all watch this shit? Like, do y'all not understand that EO is like a master at selling moves? Like, she's a master at making moves seem way more dangerous than they really are. So, yes, I do think in my hypothetical WrestleMania, I would have Kyrie go over, and I would have her pin Oscar. If we being honest, I think it just writes itself. Now, I'm not no Adam Blampier by any chance, by any means, because if y'all want some really good shit, y'all watch him. Blamco, I'll put the link in the description. When this video goes on YouTube, I'll have his link in the description. My next match, I think, would be Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu versus Jay Uso and Solo Sikoa. Jay is kind of teasing becoming a heel again. I don't really know what's going on with him and Roman, but I do kind of see that that is kind of being leaned into more, turning him back into a heel because I mean, clearly he had a good face run, but it's boring as hell now. It's just been a catchphrase fest. Like just 4 letters, one word, yeet. Like that shit is boring. It really is. I feel like Jay has lost his aura throughout the years. He's gained popularity, don't get me wrong, but that like the day one Usos, like that was peak fucking Uso shit. Not this whatever this shit is right here. I don't care for it. I don't. But however, the MFT, my family tree with Solo and Tama and all the other bloodline members, they seem to finally be getting traction back and getting their attention. And with Jay Uso and Jimmy Uso, it seems like they always button heads. And Roman's on the and he doesn't want nothing to do with none of one of them right now. Who better to take Jay Uso back into a family than Solo? Especially if WWE goes that route to where Jay is kind of stagnant and wants to find purpose and wants to, find some sort of family to take him in again, I think it's right there. Solo take him in, and then Jacob comes back. They duke it out, whatever, whatever. I think Jay and Solo would win. I think Jay would end up pinning Jimmy. It's fucked up. Yeah, I know. Jimmy definitely needs to be booked better, but what can you do? Next, Sami Zayn versus Miro for the US Championship. Filler match. I don't give a fuck. Sammy's been boring. Miro's been boring. I don't care. I don't even care who wins. But if I got to pick somebody, I'll just say Sammy and move on with it. Next, the main event of night one. Now this can go one of two ways, and I have two main events just in case. The first main event would be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's about time that Roman gets his win over Seth Rollins because in all the fights that they've had, he's always lost. The most recent battle that they had at was it Royal Rumble 2021 when he was still the tribal chief. I mean, he lost the match, but it was by disqualification. So of course WWE did that thing where he instead of saying he hasn't lost since such and such, they turned it to he hasn't been pinned since whenever. I don't know. That's on them. But at the same time, I know it kind of feels like Roman being a world heavyweight championship and not the WWE championship. It might feel like somewhat of a demotion for some people, especially with us being so used to him being the top dog. But at the same time, Seth Rollins did just beat Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel, which gives the World Heavyweight Championship some very, very much needed attention, some much needed respect, and some much needed star power, really, basically. I mean, Seth has been basically holding it down. I don't really see Seth winning this match. I think Roman would go over because obviously it's WrestleMania. But at the same time, he did lose to Seth at WrestleMania 41. So, hey, who knows? But I personally would have Roman going over. Now, there is this little rumor going around that Seth he needs surgery on. I think his shoulder or his knee or something like that. He needs surgery. So my replacement main event would be Roman Reigns versus Brian Breaker for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, is Brian ready for the main event? Probably not. Then again, he might be. The motherfucker he been killing it lately too. Now he ain't the best on the mic by any means, but when it comes to just pure power and just that dog mentality, like yeah, he got that shit on lock. So with this scenario playing out, I think Brian Breaker should probably squash Seth Rollins at Royal Rumble. Now, a lot of these title changes are happening at Royal Rumble for me to set up these particular matches at Mania. I would have, if Seth Rollins does need surgery and he does have to drop the belt, I would have Brian Breaker squash him, absolutely fucking squash him at the Royal Rumble. I'm talking like the match being no more than a minute long, maybe 2 minutes long. I'm talking spear right out the fucking gate. He gets up, spear again. He gets back up. One more spear. One, two, three. And that's it. I'm talking like real deal squash match type shit. And after that, Braun Breaker comes out. Not Braun Breaker. Bronson Reed comes out, gives him a handful of tsunamis. He could do the 6 tsunamis off the top rope like he did a while back. Or he can also go the route of giving him a couple of tsunamis on foreign objects, like putting him on the table, giving him a tsunami, or maybe laying him on the steps and giving him a tsunami, or tsunami to the floor, or who knows. Either way it go, if this is gonna be the route that WWE takes, they have to make Bryan and Bronson look like unstoppable fucking forces, which they kind of are already, but it has to be taken up to the next level. Because right now I mean, it's there, but I think they can do better. And this right here would be the way to do it. Now, I would still have Roman go over. Don't get me wrong, but Braun will look like an absolute fucking. Braun is gonna be a badass regardless, and this is a big push for him either way it go. Because you're in the main event of WrestleMania, and you've only been on the main roster for a handful of time. Only so much time. So, regardless of even if he loses, he'll still look strong. So just to double back, I'm gonna go over night one more time. I'm gonna just name out the match and who I think should go over. For night one, we said Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio, IC Championship career versus title match. Dominic going over. Naomi versus Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair, Hell in a Cell WWE Women's match. Jade Cargill goes over. Um, Charlotte and Alexa versus Zaria and Sol Ruka for the women's tag team championships. Zara and Sol will go over. Julia versus Chelsea Green versus Mia Yim for the U.S. championship, women's U.S. championship. Chelsea Green going over. Kyrie Sane versus Asuka versus Io Sky for the women's world championship. Kyrie Sane going over. Jimmy and Jacob versus Jay Uso and Solo Sikoa. I would have Jay and Solo going over. Sami Zayn versus Miro. Again, I don't give a fuck. Sammy, whatever. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, with Roman Reigns going over. Or if they go the other route with Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker, I would still have Roman go over. Now on to night two. This is where things get a little, yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna make it work. Night two, I have the Street Profits versus DIY and a TLC match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Obviously, this would probably be the opening match. Nothing too serious. Fun match. Bunch of spots. Bunch of hardcore activity. Street Profits would probably go over. Bailey versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's IC Championship. I personally would have Bailey going into WrestleMania as champion and retaining. Now, I'm gonna explain this a little bit. Bailey's been on this bipolar character, thing lately. It's kind of hard to dictate whether she's a heel or a face right now because on one hand she gets these little outbursts to where she wants to just beat everybody up, but then on the other hand she gets this other little. She just starts getting touchy and huggy and shit, and just wants to go back to a hugger. So what I think should happen is Bailey and Lyra, they tag team together against the tag team champions Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. Not at Royal Rumble, but maybe at something else. Maybe Royal Rumble. And Bailey and Lyra, they lose, and Bailey is the one that's pinned. Or it could be either Bailey being the one that gets pinned or Lyra gets pinned and Bailey costs them or something like that. Either way it go, they lose the match and Lyra turns heel on Bailey. instead of Bailey turning heel, I would have Lyra turn heel. She's a great character. She's a great wrestler. I think it's time for a switch up though. I think it's time for her to go turn into a bad person, turn into a villain. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think at the Royal Rumble, Lyra cost Becky the championship accidentally, trying to help Becky, but she ends up costing the championship via a roll up or something by Bailey. So Bailey beats Becky at Royal Rumble for the championship, and it blows off at WrestleMania. That way, if Seth Rollins is injured, Becky can, be at home with him if need be. And Becky's at that point of her career to where she can just take the breaks that she needs. She can be at home with him, or if she's still, active, she can go off into another storyline, maybe with, I don't know, maybe with the Women's World Championship again. Who knows? Or she can try her luck at the tag team champions. I don't think she's captured that one just yet. The next match, some celebrity showcase match, but it's gonna have LA Knight in it, and it's probably gonna have Logan Paul in it. I care even less about this than I do about the Sami Zayn Miro match. I don't even know who the fuck would win this. I don't even know who would be in it. Whatever team the celebrities on are probably gonna be the one to win. Whatever. Moving on. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the WWE Undisputed Championship. I personally think it's time for Randy to stop fucking around and go ahead and capture his 14th championship. Cody's been a two-time champion already. His first reign was pretty good. His second reign has been nothing short of disastrous, if we being honest. It's been very boring. Um shit. I don't even know who the hell he's been he hasn't even been defending it like that. And that's a problem for me. To say that he was such a fighting champion when he first for his first reign, he was more fighting champion than Roman probably ever was. He was defending the bitch at every PLE. He was fighting damn near every week. Now you barely see him. He doesn't defend like that. I think he may have had maybe 3 defenses throughout his time being champion, if that. Crown Jewel doesn't count because he didn't defend it at Crown Jewel. Um, I don't even know if he defended. Was he even at WrestlePalooza? I don't think he. No, he did. Drew McIntyre. He defended it against Drew McIntyre. That match was okay, I guess. And that's all I remember. Honestly, I don't remember anything else. So I would personally have. You can go one or two ways with this. You can have Roman win the Royal Rumble for Braun Breaker, which sets up maybe elimination chamber match for Randy Orton to win, or you can just dive straight into the feud, which I think they should just dive straight into it. If we're being honest, I don't think every blow off feud has to have a stipulation to where, oh, I won this match, so I have the right to face you. I think it should be, hey, look, I'm Randy fucking Orton. I've been in this business for 25 years. I've been told you I'm coming for 14, and it's that the time is now. No pun intended. And I think Randy should win. I think he should capture his 14th at WrestleMania 42. Last match, the main event. I think it should be John Cena versus The Rock. I know that Saturday Night Main Event was announced as his last match. I get that, whatever. But I've said this before in my last WWE video when I did I think I did the Money in the Bank predictions or something like that. It was another episode that I did related to WWE. I don't think Saturday night's main event is the right move for John Cena to retire there. I don't think that that particular PLE is big enough for somebody of his caliber. Saturday night's main event is basically a glorified house show. It's basically a glorified televised house show. If you're gonna have somebody like John Cena, it has to be WrestleMania. I can't see it being anything else. So let's do it like this. John Cena has his match at Saturday night's main event. Obviously, he wins. Low, whatever. He grabs the mic and he gives this speech, but he also has this different demeanor about him. He basically says that I've been in this game for 20 plus years, or however long he's been in the game for. I know that I said that this will be my retirement year. However, there's just one more person that I have to face before I can ride off into the sunset, before I can be happily engaged. This person was the reason why I turned into that bad person that I was during WrestleMania season. This particular person was the reason that I turned my back on the fans. This particular person has the nerve to put me through all of this and then not even show up after the fact. So he calls out The Rock. At Saturday Night's Main Event, he calls out The Rock. The Rock comes out. Surprise entrant. The Rock comes out. They have their blow off. And he tells John Cena, Cena, I had your soul and I lost it, but I want it back. We had something special and you fucked it up. You decided to let Cody get in your head and tell you that whatever he told you, you allowed Cody Rhodes to get into your head. You allowed him to break out of that, to break you out of that cycle that you were in. But when you were in that cycle, when you only cared about yourself, you were doing some of your best work, hypothetically speaking, because those matches were shit. When you were heel, that's when you were doing your best work. But now you've just given up on me. You've given up on our plan. You've given up on us for them, for these people. Of course, Rock is going to be the heel. So, John Cena, one more time. We both have tiebreakers. We both have wins against each other at WrestleMania. I beat you at WrestleMania 28. You beat me the year after. It's time for this to be put to bed. And John Cena, if you successfully beat The Rock, you are a free man. And that's how that's going to go. The stipulation for that match, if Cena wins, he is no longer under the tutelage or the control of The Rock. Now, I get it. He's really not under control of The Rock right now, but at the same time, this storyline needs something else. Like, The Rock has not been present since the motherfucker turned heel. That makes no sense. The Rock was the reason why John Cena turned heel, and yet the last time we saw him on television was the night John Cena turned heel. That was over a year ago, dude. That was over a fucking almost over a year ago. We need something else to kind of tie all of this together because right now it just seems like WWE just wanted to turn Cena heel just as an experiment and not actually as a real deal storyline. So I feel like this would be the best way to end it. It definitely is gonna be the main event of WrestleMania Night 2. Cena wins. It's a hard fought battle. It's not gonna be the most physical battle because obviously these two guys are old, but the storyline, it could be one of the best storylines in recent memory if WWE just books the shit right. And right now they are not booking this shit right. We don't even know who John Cena's last opponent is gonna be. If it's Seth Rollins, okay, whatever. But they're talking about he's going off and getting surgery, so it couldn't be Seth Rollins. He's already faced Cody Rhodes. He's already faced Randy Orton. He's already faced CM Punk. I don't know why they had him face Logan Paul, but he's faced Logan Paul. I've heard some people say he's gonna face Gunther or something like that. He's already faced AJ Styles, so that's off the table. Uh, I mean, I can't really think of anybody else that it could be other than The Rock. I mean, the story is literally right there. I get it, but The Rock is a busy man, so maybe not. But I wouldn't have this particular match to be anything, no stipulation, not stipulations, but like no, just a regular match, DQ finish, not DQ finishes, but regular match, with all the rules set in place, no interference, no bullshit, just a regular fight. Hell, they can even contest, keep it in the ring like Cena and AJ did in 2017 Royal Rumble, but I doubt that would happen because they need their rest. But Cena wins. The fireworks go off, the locker room empties out, and they all come celebrate with him, kind of like they did with Cody when he won at WrestleMania 40. Cena finally gets that last win. The Alicia Taylor, or another option for this, have like someone like Howard Finkel come back and announce the match. If is he still doing that thing? If he's still, kicking and doing that, bring Howard Finkel back to be the ring announcer for this match. Hell, bring and then this is getting a little in the realm of unrealistic now. I would even say bring Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler back to call the fucking match. Or you can have it kind of like Jerry and King on this side, and then you have Michael and who you got, Corey Graves right now. Not Pat McAfee. Please not Pat McAfee. He does not need the I don't really care for him like that. But for something of this star power, you have to have the correct pieces around it. It has to be at WrestleMania. Bring back Howard Finkel to do the ring announcement. Bring back Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross to do the play-by-play commentary. Have The Rock. You have Cena. You have everything you need right there. Have him win. Have The Rock raise his hand. You can even have The Rock cut a promo, being something like, "Oh, Cena, you've done it. You've beaten The Rock. You are now a free man. I'm a man of my word. You are now a free man. Enjoy retirement." And shakes his hand, give him a hug. Rock walks off. Cena does his celebration, fireworks. You know, Alicia Tyler can say something like, "Oh, you're a winner and the greatest of all time in his last match ever. Uh, the 17-time world champion." Just have a special announcement for his win, not just the normal. Oh, and your winner, John Cena. Have something in place for him to make it feel like it's really the last time we're gonna see him in a WWE ring. It writes itself. I mean, it does. Like I said, I don't consider myself an Adam Blampier. I don't even consider myself who else does that? The people at Cultaholic. I've seen them do that sometimes. But I mean, I'm a WWE fan. And this I think I got some pretty good ideas here. I mean, I'll put once I put it on YouTube, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. And like I said, y'all, that was my. Oh, let me go through this one more time. I'm gonna just skim through it. I ain't gonna take too long. All right, so for night two, we're gonna go over this one more time just to run through it. Uh, I have the Street Profits beating hashtag DIY in the TLC match for the tag team championships. I have Bailey going over against Lyra Valkyria for the women's IC champion. I have the celebrities winning in whatever celebrity showcase match they're gonna have inevitably. I have Randy Orton going over Cody Rhodes to be the new WWE Undisputed Champion. And I have John Cena going over The Rock to lead into his truthful retirement. That's it, y'all. Thank you for tuning in.